introduce you to Sherm Bryant, those of you that don't know him. Sherm farms this farm.
Yeah, I can't stand erosion. Once it starts, you can't stop it. And so in February of 2008, we had a lot of rain, heavy rain, and that's when the erosion started in different spots. And so then this rain this year sure didn't help things any. So
the no-till planting that he's doing here, the cereal rye cover crop, does a really good job of controlling what we call sheet erosion. Sheet erosion is where I tell people, think about a pad of paper, and when you take a sheet of paper off at a time, you don't really notice it, but before long you're halfway through the pad. And that's the same way with topsoil. You know, when you can easily lose in a conventional cropping system where you were maybe chisel plowing in the fall and doing a lot of tillage, you can easily lose 10 to 15 tons per acre per year. And that sounds like a tremendous amount, but you got to remember that 10 tons of topsoil is about the thickness of a dime if you spread it over an acre. I like to think that a lake is a reflection of its watershed. And take Tippy Canoe Lake, for example. Huge lake, 1,000, 1,100 acres maybe. What a really huge watershed. It's about 75,000 acres that drains into Tippy Canoe Lake, one of the biggest watersheds in the lakes in our area. But that watershed, the lake to water ratio, makes it inherently risky, I guess you would say, about what kind of water quality you're going to have in that lake, because any activity that happens in that watershed has some effect on the lake. One of the things that Tippy has going for it, I might just mention as I think about it, is all the lakes that it has above it. In that 75,000 acres, believe it or not, there's over 50 natural lakes in that watershed that drains eventually into Tippy. But all those lakes upstream from Tippy, Webster, the Barbie chain, and all the other 52 lakes that are upstream from Tippy act as sediment basins. People that live on those lakes don't like it. Probably wouldn't want you to talk in those terms, but that's the way it is, because they're all, and that's one of the reasons that Tippy, even though a huge watershed, it's got relatively good water quality compared to a lot of the other lakes in the county. So it's a pretty dynamic watershed. Watershed is a very simple concept, really. It's all of the area from which water drains to a certain point. So if we say the watershed of Tippy Canoe Lake, all those 75,000 acres up above, all that water from that area drains to Tippy Canoe Lake.
So what is the watershed? The 75 acres?
The 75,000 acres. Yeah. Chapman Lake, for example, has, I don't remember exactly, 2,500, a small watershed. 560 acre lake, 2,500 and some acres of watershed, so not near that amount of water if you look at the ratio of the two. Back when our agency used to build a lot of ponds, we thought the ideal situation was to have between 5 and 10 to 1. So if you had a 10-acre pond, you wanted 50 to 100 acres draining into it, no more than that, because then you get into problems.